Hi, this is Steve Reifman. I'd like to welcome you to the week 5, which is the travel from Valencia into Granada, down along the Spanish coast, and then into Africa and to Morocco. Let's get a nice overview of it. As we go forward, we can see we came down out of France through Andorra to Barcelona, then took a Spanish steamer down to the island of Ibiza, then over to Ibiza. We went over to Formentera, got arrested, went back to Ibiza, and then over to Valencia on a boat. Then from Valencia, after watching the Mickey Mouse Festival, I travel with my mates, the Pales. From Valencia, we go to Granada, a 16-hour train ride. After spending an incredible couple days in Granada, we travel down to the Mediterranean Sea through the town of Nerja, see the caves, and we get down to the Mediterranean. And I travel with my mates along the coast of Nerja, Malaga, Torremolinos, Marbella, and then down to Gibraltar. Of course, we stayed in the Spanish confines of the country and instead went to Algeciras, which is one hell of a view of and of Gibraltar. After spending a night overlooking the Gibraltar Rock, we then went from Algeciras on a boat to a Spanish compound called Ceuta, a town on the Spanish, that is Spanish on the African coast, and then traveled from there to the first real Moroccan city. This is the 5th week. Wow. Our character, me, 50 years ago, on the road, alone, meeting people, leaving people. Now I'm with a group of fellas who we got arrested and thrown off the islands, the Balearic Islands off the coast of Spain in the Mediterranean Sea. And we make it to the mainland. We take a 16-hour train and we are at Granada. All 5 of us are still together, palling around. The amazing thing is now I'm in a social configuration, I like to call it, and a stream of travel. And as you will see, we will meet people who we met before, and we will meet new people as we go along the road. So the Formentera 5, that's Big Keith from Vancouver, Dan from Vermont, and the 2 Swiss German boys, that's Hans and Oliver, and your Stevie Wander. And we come to a wonderful city after 16 hours on the train. It's daylight, and it is a kind of a succulent city. It has a lot going for it that we really enjoy. We're walking around and enjoying it. But one of these fellas with me, this Oliver, who doesn't speak English very well, but he happens to be an architect of sorts. And he says, "Oh, we must go to Alhambra. Alhambra, oh yeah." Okay, whatever, So we find out that this is really something special, according to everybody. So we go there, and it's up on the hill. Right now, we're overlooking it. I'm going to take us to Granada. There it is, sitting up on the hill, Alhambra, overlooking Granada. And there's wonderful streets that lead up the hill, garden-like environments. And anyway, we found our way up towards Granada. And as we were entering the grounds, there's some hotels and things, and it was getting late that day. So the Formentera 5, we engaged some other hippie types traveling through, and he said, "Oh, come on, sleep on our floor of the hotel we're in." So we spend the night on this floor of the hotel room and get up early, and it costs something to get in. I don't know how much anymore, but we go in there, and it was like palaces. It wasn't one palace, and there were mosques built into it, just quite intricate, and the staggering proportions of the skilled work is so refined in this Islamic art, and I had never really experienced anything like it. and we just tumbled through and the water coming through. And it was a glorious experience. We probably spent 5 or 6 hours there. And at one point, you get wired and tired. And we went back into the city of Granada. But Alhambra is something that, rates up there with the incredible tourist icons in the world. It's actually Spain's most visited spot. And Spain does have a few things to argue about, certainly Madrid and the Prado. I never went to Madrid though, never got there. So meanwhile, we finish up with Alhambra and head back to the city. Friday night, I found a beautiful city of Granada. We met an American tourist and slept in his modest hotel room on the floor, which was across from the incredible Alhambra Palace complex up on the hill overlooking the current city. It was the Alhambra that had brought us to the city. Oliver knew of its beauty from his architectural studies, and he put us on this course. Hans had one more hit of acid, and the three of us split it for good time's sake and went off to the Alhambra. Also, we split a half ounce of reefer we procured on the train. The Alhambra was fantastic, and we spent the day there. The Alhambra, a Muslim fortress, castle, and honeycomb of facilities from the Moors, has indescribable and intricate beauty. The gardens and palaces are incredible. Flowing mountain water rushes through the palaces and gardens and is the key to the feel of the place. As you walk up into the park-like environment, the sound of the rushing water envelops you. The craftwork of the palaces is unreal and must have taken years to develop. Behind me is the incredible Alhambra, which overlooks the lively city of Granada. It was really a pleasure to go there. I do want to focus on it for a bit since it's so fantastic. It's called a fortified hilltop Moorish complex. And after spending a whole day there with my buddies, my traveling pals, we were tired out, but we went on down and we said, let's go down into the city again. And as we came down the main road that goes into the city, we came upon something that I found to be quite fascinating, and that was the guitar shops of the city of Granada. Now you have to remember that Granada is a center, if you will, of guitar and music and flamenco and Spanish dancing and the Spanish guitar. And I looked it up and I found, wow, this town is still full of musical instrument shops, guitar shops, really, that's about it. And we can go and you can go buy yourself a guitar right now if you wish at La Guitarra Guitar Shop, etc., etc. So it's a wonderful thing to see this great town still has these fantastic guitar shops, as you can see it right there. And we bring it out and we see how the guitar shops fit in. That evening, our second night in Granada, we spent it in gypsy caves, and the flamenco music and the guitars and the dancing was very lively. And of course, there was a lot of drinking the Spanish wine and having a great time. We spend the night in and around the gypsy bars and the caves. They were quite exotic and fun, and the flamenco music and guitars seemed to be everywhere. A lot of music is going on in Spain. It was really an incredible experience. There were guitar shops up and down the avenue that went up to the Alhambra. We finally make our way out of town and we go to the Nerja caves. Again, Oliver, he knows about these things. These caves were painted and they had lights on them, and we spent the night near them, and then we went there and we finally head out to the coast. We're hitchhiking, we're taking small buses, we're raggedy touring, smoking some hashish as we go and crazy having fun. And people, of course, are staring at crazy me because I'm the feature with these glorious curls of mine. But we do get down to the Coast to Sol. Something happens when you're on the road. I don't know where exactly I'm going at this point. I'm paled up with these guys, but I can get out. I can go any direction. I can go back. I can go anywhere I want to go. I got no ties. I have no agenda. I don't know where the hell I'm going. But there's kind of a magnetism. All along, as I'm coming along, there's this idea of Morocco, the mythic Morocco, Africa, the real changes. Alhambra has whet my appetite for this exotic, interesting culture that I really know nothing about. So the guys, the Swiss German guys, they're on their way to Morocco. And, what the hell? I don't know where else I'm going. I'll pail along with them somehow or another. Along the way, Big Keith drops out and Dan drops out, and it's me and the Swiss German guys, and we're buddying up. And we get into the magic of the road. That's what I want to make sure you get, that something starts happening. It's just lovely, and there's so many things to see, and your eyes are so open, so wide to ideas and people and cultures that you have no idea about. And Spain is kind of a challenging culture to understand to me. I kind of understand Italian, but I'm not getting the Spanish stuff. I'm not liking the food. It's got some strange spices that I don't know from. I've overcome Italian. I used to get into my Sicilian food with my neighbors and stuff. And I grew into that, I should say, really. But I understand red sauces, but the best food I had in Spain was Italian food, some spaghetti someplace, But anyway, the magic and the mystery and the gravitation towards Morocco has begun, and we're moving in that direction with me, as it were, with the two guys and me. The next day, we find our way to some kind of a ferry boat. It just takes a couple hours, and we are in Africa. We reach a city called Ceuta, which is Spanish on the coast there. It's a strange environment. People don't seem to know if they're Spanish, Arab, whatever the heck they are. But we got to get out of there. We want to get to the real Morocco. So we find our way out of the city towards a city called Tetuan, which is the first Moroccan city. We were doing everything we could to avoid Tangier, which is legendary in regard to its rip-off artists, and that we'd be real victims in a place like Tangier. So we decided, the hell with it, we're going through Tetuan. We're not going to go, this is me and my Swiss German buddies, we're not going to do anything but go through Tetuan, and then we're going to get into the real Morocco that we want to see. Forget Tangier, too dangerous. We slept the night on a bluff overlooking a bay with the famed silhouette of the Rock of Gibraltar, a British possession across the bay. We felt as if we were at the end of the world, and in some true way we were, ready to embark from Europe to Africa, a short distance but a continent away, on to Morocco.
It's early morning dawn. I'm waking up in my sleeping bag on a bluff overlooking the great mythic Rock of Gibraltar. What a fabulous wandering adventure I'm on. The Formentera Five have split. Keith and Dan went off in different directions. I'm here as a trio with my two Swiss German friends, Hans and Oliver. We've decided to continue our journey together onward to Morocco. Hans found a deal for us yesterday, much cheaper than the charter boats nearby. We will be departing from Algeciras, Spain, on the European continent to the small Spanish enclave of Ceuta on the North African coast. Hey guys, when does the boat leave? I inquire. Hans and Oliver, just waking at sunrise, quietly gaze out at the iconic monument silhouette of the Rock. The guy I talked to when we first arrived at Algeciras said to be there at 8:30 a.m., says Hans, yawning as he finishes speaking. Well, that's barely 2 hours from now, says Oliver, looking at his wristwatch. We need to get up and get moving. We have a lot of ground to cover, and the clock is ticking. The three of us quickly pack up our gear in our backpacks. The Epi Trail is about to lead us in a new direction. We walk a few miles into the town of Algeciras, where Hans locates the boat captain he spoke with yesterday and strikes a quick deal for us. We are soon boarding a small boat and sailing across the straits. Our boat lands ashore in Ceuta some 15 to 20 minutes later. We get off the boat and the captain sails away immediately. Feels so covert. Now what to do? We didn't come all this way to hang out in some Spanish bastard town on the coast of North Africa. We are surrounded by Morocco. I'm ready to get the suspense over and delve into the culture and excitement of a new way of life.